All right, hey there, folks. Here we have a Top Gun Technologies Quad 5. And I just bought this radio used off a guy. And I know he bought it brand new. And he didn't specify if it had been tuned up or anything. He was an older gentleman. I really don't think he remembers, to be honest. But just from hooking it up, I've tested it. It's putting out over 100 watts PEP. Really leaning into the microphone, the stock mic, you can see about 110 watts PEP on AM, about 75 on sideband. But from going through here, it's not hacked up. You can tell stuff has been modded. I really don't know what I'm looking at as far as, what's been done, but I can tell some things have been done. The first thing that jumps out at me, here's a view of the entire board here. I'm kind of just doing this for documentation purposes, so people can find this video later on. If you need to pause it or whatever and see what's going on, you can. Now, of course, the frequency conversion has been done on here. And I haven't even looked for that on the board, but I will in a moment. And I know, actually, it's marked right there. Because I know from looking, you go from that chip and you go 2 over right here. And then the next one, that little resistor is removed. And as you can see on this one here, it has been removed right there. You can see that. So that's what you do for the frequency conversion there. But I do notice a couple other things. Like there may be more that I'm not seeing, because I don't know exactly what I'm looking at on this radio. But the first thing that jumped out at me is right here, this resistor right here, as you can see. And you can kind of see where that is, in relation to the rest of the radio. That's the front of the radio right there. It's right here. And, I found a video on YouTube of a guy showing the inside of the radio, and I paused it and was comparing it, and it does not have this resistor here. So you can see where that's soldered in. It's soldered in nice and clean. It's nice work. But I would like to know exactly what that resistor does. Why was it added? So that would be nice to know. And then another thing I noticed, I doubt if this is factory right here. You can see this little wire right here that was jumped from, it looks like that resistor. It says 681 right there, right over to here. So that's another thing I noticed there. And you can kind of see where those are located on the board. Here's the back of the radio right here, the heatsink. And there's where that wire's been added, and there's where that resistor's been added right there. I believe this is the, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the voltage regulator? I believe it is on most radios. I believe that's what it's called. I could be mistaken. I know a lot of people upgrade these. I don't know if this has been upgraded or it's the original. If there are numbers on there, maybe you guys can see it, or maybe I'll see it when I play the video back. Just based off of what I'm seeing through the screen here, I can't see anything on here. I know a lot of people upgrade these with like the Palomar Max mod and stuff, so I can't really tell if that's been monkeyed with or not. I guess I'd have to pull the bottom of the case off, see if I can see anything going on with the solder. It looks like it may have been actually modified right there if you look at the solder. I'm just not 100% sure, but I know that is one thing to keep an eye out for. Now, there could be other things modified in here that I'm just not catching, by looking. Some of the stuff's really small, and the older I get, it's difficult for me to see this little tiny stuff with my eyes anymore. Well, I used to have straight eagle vision, man, but not so much anymore. Still pretty good, but this stuff's pretty small, man. So it's getting harder and harder for me to see. But I'm going to go ahead and do some close-ups here, just so if you guys want to take a look at this and see if anything jumps out at you, or if you want to see this for future reference for a radio you end up buying or something, and you want to see if anything's different. Like I say, the only two things I notice are that jumper wire and that resistor. Go over here to the other side of the radio here. Yeah, the guy I got it from, he just doesn't seem to remember what was done to it. He's going to look and see if he can find any documents or anything for me and get back to me. And I did read not to hook up a regular 4-pin mic to this radio I guess there's a modification you have to do because there's like 5 volts hot going to this mic or something. Yeah, all the information I found says if you do hook up a regular 4-pin to it, like a Cobra or Uniden or whatever Galaxy mic, that you'll harm the radio. I guess you have to do something to it. So I'm not even going to try that. I'm glad I read that before I did try to hook a microphone up to it. But everyone seems to think, from what I've read, that the stock mic, even though it's a little tiny thing, that it's supposed to have great audio. They say you're really not going to get any better with a aftermarket type mic. So I believe that's where you plug the cable in if you want to program it on the computer right there. So anyways, those are the only two things that jump out at me, is the jumper and the resistor. If you're a radio tech, I'm sure you'll be able to find other things. That's all really jumps out at me. I haven't even looked up like where the adjustments are on here as far as your carrier power, your dead key, and stuff like that. Well, I guess it's probably not too hard to find. I mean, some of these are marked here: AM, FM, AM, FM. I'm not going to mess with any of this. I do think from the videos I've watched online, I do think that the RF power, when it's rolled all the way up, it's usually higher than I see online. Online, I usually see about, I guess, 12 to 13 watts on the high side, at a dead key with the RF power rolled up. I'd have to check this again. I could be wrong. I thought it was doing more, but I could be wrong. For some reason, I thought it was doing like 20 watts. But I could be incorrect. I'm going to hook it back up here in a minute in this video, and we'll see. But anyways, just wanted to show the inside here. All right, let's get this thing hooked up real quick. Guys, I rarely even pick the microphone up and talk on the radio anymore, but I do keep my radio on, usually the volume real low like this. And there's definitely a lot of DX coming in today. You can hear it. It's a train wreck. There's a lot coming through. So anyways, I've got it hooked up. Turn it on there. I still need to go through the menu and make sure things are set the way I want it to be set. one thing I noticed right off the bat is this radio doesn't have a mic gain on the front. That's kind of baffling why they didn't include it on one of the dials, but it is in the menu. Um, I did go ahead and download the user manual here, so that's available online. It's kind of funky how they got this set up, but it does show you how to do it, with the first one there being the light gain. So it shows defaults 31. You can go from 0 to 63. So I need to check that, see where it's at. I'd be curious to see where that's at. So I guess I think you just push and hold function. And 30, it shows 30. So yeah, it's at 30. Default's 31. Let me see. I wonder if I can just turn this. Yeah, there's default. Okay, so the mic gain isn't even cranked up. I mean, I thought it was cranked all the way up on this thing, but no, it's at default. So it's possible that a lot of these default settings, these settings could be default. I may have actually moved that 31. Oh, look who it is over here. Hey, little Miss Nosy. Hey, no, get down. You're not allowed. Get down off of here. Yeah, Cat thinks it can do whatever it wants. And here's like a quick menu guide here. You can find this online too. You can show you, just if any case anyone wants to look at this right here. I know the older the radio these radios get, things disappear online. So it might be good to, for someone down the road. Okay, I'm not familiar with these menu items yet. I'm going to have to study this a little more. But just from going through it real quick, I see that, most of the default settings have been changed. So I'll go through it for you guys. You can see it real quick, just to see what we have on here. Just as I cycle through, I definitely notice a lot of it's different than the default. So before I mess with anything here, I'm going to have to, figure out where I want it. If any of you guys are familiar with this radio, if you want to leave me comments and let me know, that would be greatly appreciated. One fellow in my last video, he left about 10 comments. I forgot your name. I have to go back and look, but I know that you owned one of these and you're pretty knowledgeable about it, so I appreciate that. So I've showed all this in the other video, but with the RF power all the way down, I mean, I wish it had a mic gain on the front of the radios, so you can turn the mic gain all the way down so it's not picking up background noise, but I don't know. Any of you manufacturers are going to make another radio like this, you should really leave everything on here, but consider putting a mic gain on there, or maybe, I don't know, you need the clarifier, echo tone, yeah. I guess, I don't know, maybe RF gain, maybe put that in the menu and supplement that for the mic gain, or I don't know. Something could probably be done. But anyway, this is my opinion. Power all the way down on AM, 5-watt scale, and we're going to hit that 2 watts. So that's where it is, 2 watts all the way down. And I'm going to roll it all the way up. I could be wrong. I thought it went to like 24 watts, but I could be totally wrong. Let's see, 50-watt scale. Yeah, see, that's pretty spicy up there. See, that's every bit a 24-watt dead key carrier there, with it rolled all the way up. And from what I'm seeing online, with these CB shops that modify these for people, like maybe 12, 14 tops. So I'm sure I can go in there and adjust that, but I don't know. Is that too high for this radio? Should I leave it? I know the fellow I got it from, I asked him, he said he was running it wide open all the time. He could talk all over the country. I mean, he seemed to love this radio. Halfway straight up and down. Dead key. So that still gets you about 21 watts. And I know it doesn't affect the PEP. It's still going to swing high. Let's lower it there. Set about 10 o'clock. Still about 19, man. Turn it down more. There, that's about 14 right there. About it's about 9 o'clock right there. Gets you about 14 watts. And when you modulate in it here, hello, it'll peg that 50. And initially I thought, it's probably a 50 watt radio. I didn't realize I had to go to the 250 scale, that it had a lot more juice to it. Hello, hello, audio, hello. I mean, that's my mouth right in the microphone, Hello, audio, 11111, hello. If I back up a couple inches and talk normal, hello, audio check, 1 2 3 4 5. Hello, audio check, 1 2 3 4 5. Hello, audio check, 1 2 3 4 5. So it just depends on the pitch of your voice or whatnot. But when you really hammer down in it, you see that 100 watts. So, and then I showed before also, if you go over to sideband here, I believe it was about 75 watts if you're really holler into it. Hello, audio, hello, audio. Okay, that's, let me really holler into it. Hello, audio. That's 10 watts. That's probably why he had the RF power all the way open, so we could talk on sideband. Hello, audio, hello, audio. So that's about 80 watts with my mouth right into it hollering. Now I'll talk normal. Hello, audio, testing, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Hello, come in. CQDX. Audio check. Hello. So it settles down. So that's obviously why he had the RF power all the way up, so he could take advantage of sideband. Anyways, guys, that's just kind of a follow-up to this radio. I'm trying to learn it. If you got any tips or tricks, let me know. All right, catch you later. Oh, and just one more thing real quick. Also from going on sideband, and turning my striker on over there on the same channel, even though this is on the dummy load here, the other one's over the antenna, I do sound crystal clear over there on the striker. So I know sideband's, perfectly good with the clarifier up and down. I think sideband's perfect. I just think whoever modified this, just modified the AM side of it. That's what I'm guessing. Could be wrong, but that's what it seems like. Sideband seems, real nice and clean, and seems like it's working where, it would have out of the box pretty much. But AM, it sounds like, it's going to be a big talking, trucker radio. Yeah. All right. Catch you later, guys.